Hello, my name is John Hefner. I'm a friend of the Creation Evidence Museum, and I'm standing on the banks of the Paluxy River at our annual dinosaur excavations. We have a group here, as we do every year, excavating, cleaning out dinosaur tracks in limestone layers. We have some interesting situations on these layers as we examine them. One is the same dinosaur appears to have walked one direction and then turned a 180 and gone back beside the first set of tracks. Of course, we have no idea exactly what the motive of a dinosaur would have been long ago, but perhaps it was a case of a mama dinosaur wanting to check on young that maybe was falling behind. Maybe it was just simply meandering around like cattle in a feedlot. Who knows what the reason is, but it's the same exact size print, and they are going in two opposite directions like we sometimes do. We go into a room to get something, forget why we came, turn around and come right back. So that's one interesting thing that we're seeing today. But the layers themselves hold some information. We find that there's a consistent triple sequence of events. And as far as I know, all layers all over the world, these are sedimentary or water-laid layers. And that triple that I'm talking about is a limestone layer on top of a hardpan layer, which is essentially mud and limestone mixed together but in a more dilute context, and then a clay layer, and then limestone, hardpan clay, limestone, hardpan clay, all the way down through all of the layers, whether it's Grand Canyon or it's Bryce Canyon or a river canyon of any kind. We see that consistency. To us, we interpret that to mean that there was a global flood, and tidal waves of limey mud would have been coming in about twice daily. So we actually postulate that the layers of the earth were laid down not millions of years apart, but maybe 12 hours apart. Now I know that's a radical departure from typical thinking, but we think it's consistent with real science, which is our original pursuit in the first place. We make no apology for the fact that we think the Bible is an accurate book, and it gives an outline of some things that happened during a global flood of Noah's day. And when you see the layers of the earth, I think there's several very distinctives that would lead you to that position. Number one, if it took millions of years for each layer to form, shouldn't we find that there was topsoil on the top of those layers, that layer, since it took a long time for the next layer to arrive? Wouldn't we expect to see evidence of past vegetation on that top of the earth that we have at that moment in time? Wouldn't we expect to see drainage ditches and gullies and erosional features as rainwater or snowmelt or hurricanes or whatever water event would occur that cause erosion? And then we also find that those layers are very parallel. That speaks of rapid deposition. I think that's universally agreed to. We see those layers are very uniform in their thickness. Again, that speaks of rapid deposition. And then finally, I would suggest that polystrate fossils, or sometimes called VISS structures, vegetative-induced sedimentary structures, those indicate rapid deposition of those layers, like a log that's caught in a mud flow, and then subsequent mud flows occur every 12 hours. So all of these features lead us to that conclusion, and we're having a great time today on the banks of the Paluxy River. We hope this has been interesting for you as well.